Hey y'all, I'm so excited for this video. Today I'm going to go more into detail about the ego. I know we use the word a lot, but hopefully by the end of the video I will have presented you with some new things or a refreshing reminder. Before I get started, be sure to like this video so others can find it, subscribe and ding the notification bell as well so you don't miss out on future videos, and check the description box for links, additional information, affirmations, and disclaimers. So first things first, what is ego? By definition, ego is your self-esteem or self-importance. The psychoanalysis identifies the ego as being a part of the mind, the mediator between the conscious and unconscious. In philosophy, ego is a conscious thinking subject. Don't worry, plain English and examples coming up. In learning about the ego, I learned that we have three aspects of the ego. Stay with me. In the movies, you know how they depict an angel on the left shoulder and the devil on the right shoulder, or vice versa? Well, in a sense, that is how you can envision these ego aspects. The ID, the ego, and the superego are the three aspects of personality or ego, according to Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory on personality and how it develops. The ID, as it sounds, is your personality from birth, your unconscious, instinctive, primitive behaviors. This part of you is driven by pleasure and strives for immediate gratification of all desires, wants, and needs. This aspect of you can also be referred to as the devil on the shoulder. If said needs aren't immediately met, tension and anxiety may be the result. A natural, not so bad example would be when you get really hungry or thirsty and the need to drink or eat gets triggered. On the flip, if you don't have any money for food, so the trigger to steal and take or find a get-rich-quick solution takes over. The ID aspect of our ego is impulsive, aggressive, irrational. This aspect also ties into instant sex gratification and other unconscious desires. The ID is all about self. You think it's good, but this part of yourself is all about self. It's all yours. Everything is about you.
Forget about your brother. Fuck them kids. Keep it all to yourself. Keep everything to yourself. Get it at any means necessary.
The superego is the angel on the shoulder. This part of you is all about striving for perfection. This is where your ideals and morals stem. The superego aspect of you has a sense of right and wrong. It is both conscious and unconscious in thinking, represents internal ideals, and provides standard judging. This is the part of yourself where you want to do what's morally right all the time. Besides striving for perfection, the other thing that can get in the way of the superego is whether or not you learned right and wrong from morally good people. But don't worry, the ego is where the balance comes in. The superego is also like a super saint. So
instead of sharing candy with my brother and friends, I'm just gonna give it to them all. I don't need to be greedy.
When sharing is caring, this is why balance is so important. Ego, contrary to what we've been taught, just through context clues and in the way that it's been used in sentences, has led us, or is it just me, to believe that the ego is a bad thing. Sometimes simple classifications of good and bad blocks real understanding, because sometimes things are more than just good and bad. And because I think ego has three different aspects, that's why it's always just classified as one thing.
Like, oh, you got a big ego, you're too cocky, your ego is just way too much. So yeah.
The ego is like the middleman between the ID and superego, filtering impulses, thoughts, and ideas to make sure that they are pleasing, rational, and morally right. This part of yourself is mostly conscious. The ego focuses on reality. The ego says,
my mom gave me candy to share with my brother. Instead of taking it all for myself or giving him all of it, we're going to share it evenly.
Altogether, because of society and how a lot of us grew up, our egos are not our egos, but our ID. The ID part of the ego is never satisfied with what you already have and causes anxiety and depression and overthinking, leading to burnout eventually. Ego loves certainty, being in control, feeling special, getting attention, being right, and having something to look forward to. To get more connected to your true self and not too far into the ID aspect of ego or the superego, meditate. Practice being present. Do not defend your ego. Y'all know the ego don't like criticism, but you still gotta hear it because that's how you improve yourself. Practice gratitude. Question yourself. Why do you react that way? Why does that get you so hot and bothered? Why does that rub your ego the wrong way? So now I hope you have a better understanding and idea of the different aspects of the ego. You can decipher in your own life whether you are truly using your ego, or is it the ID or superego that you're mostly operating in. So, quick summary, the ID is the part of you that's only focused on the selfish desires, needs, and wants, at the expense of any and everyone. This part of you can be ruthless and aggressive. The superego is the part of you that is too giving, too helpful, too nice, too everything, at the expense of neglecting yourself. The ego is the rational aspect of you that thinks before you decide and is present in life. Alright guys, I hope this video was helpful and insightful. If you liked it, give it a like, share, and subscribe. If you have something to add or a video request, leave me a comment. Be sure to come back because the next video will break down pride. Thanks for watching.